Hey guys, it's Rebecca. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Today's video is going to be a little chatty one. As I am approaching the end of the year, today's January 30th. I'm not sure you guys will see this a few days later, but as I have concluded the month of January and I have finished watching people's year of makeup empties, and some of those videos I've seen more than once. It's just very satisfying to see like all these empty makeup products and see what you finished and what I finished. And sometimes I'm gonna be honest, I go back whenever I film my own year of makeup empties video, I go back and look at my other videos and see what I finished. And that's kind of what sparked the idea for this video. As I was looking at what other people have finished and what I had finished myself through the years, I wanted to talk to you guys about 5 products that I am the most proud that I have panned. And not only because at the time that I did this, I hadn't seen other people pan these items completely, but they were a challenge for myself that I didn't even think I would be able to accomplish. So it's kind of a really big goal that I accomplished myself without even trying to make it a goal. You know what I mean? I picked challenging items hoping to finish them, and I finished them, and it was just very satisfying. So I just want to talk to you guys about 5 products, and let's just get started. So out of these 5 items, I do have 2 palettes that I want to talk about, and the first one is an Hourglass palette. I did pan the Hourglass Ambient Edit palette. I think it was the very first one that they came out with back in 2016. It had 6 pans. It's a big product. It had a bronzer, a highlighter, 2 face powders, and I think 2 blushes. It was a total of 6 pans, and that was my very first pan that palette that I did for panning, like the very first official pan that palette that I put out there. And I put it up on Instagram. I didn't start my channel until mid 2016, so I had just started like putting it out there. So when you see the video, I kind of started like halfway through the year in the project, but if you go through my Instagram, you would have seen that I had started since January, if that makes sense. So I was able to finish that one. I fell in love with the formula of Hourglass baked products. That is a formula that I don't think a lot of companies have tried to dupe, but they haven't been able to quite get the formula right, the effect on the skin right, with the exception of the Reserve Your Cabana powder from Wet n Wild, which is no longer available. Bummer. But yeah, that's my very first pan that palette that I used up. I had a lot of product to use up, and that kind of gave me the motivation and the realization that I could do it, and that you can use up things pretty fast. At least I can use things up pretty fast if I just focus on them and use them every day. And it just encouraged me to continue to pan things that I think are challenging. The second palette that I want to talk about is a lipstick palette, and that was the Urban Decay lipstick palette in the Blackbird version. There was 2 versions. One was sold at Sephora, and I can't remember the name, but I think it had either a green lipstick that I really wasn't into, and then the other version, the Blackbird version, was being sold at Ulta, and it had more wearable colors for me, and so that's the one that I picked up. And this was in 2017, and it took me almost all year to use it up, and that made me realize that I never want to buy another lipstick palette ever again. It was hard. Like, I was dedicated to pan that lipstick palette. I remember it was like a compact, like this big. You guys are probably seeing a picture somewhere, but like I would take that with me like at work so I could reapply. It came with a little brush applicator, and I would take it with me to the restroom so I could reapply it, so I could use it up. You guys know before the whole pandemic thing, I called myself a chronic reapplier when it came to lip products. I used to go I love panning lipstick products just because it's really easy for me. And that was a challenge, let me tell you. That on the good side, it made me fall in love with the Urban Decay Vice lipstick formula. I was a fan of the Revolution lipsticks, but they had changed to Vice formula, and so I really did enjoy it. But it's just the fact that it's in a palette, and so when I only had like one shade left, it was so like I had to carry like the bulky thing, and it was just, yeah. Never again will I buy another lipstick palette. I've used one up in the past, and no thank you. The next three items that I want to talk about are all baked products, and I'm going to go in order of the year, I guess, that I finished them. The first one starting in 2018, and I'm talking about the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the color Soft and Gentle. I had put this in a Project Pan Roulette in September of 2017, and I used it every single day until I finished it, which was for the update of June 2018. So I think if I'm calculating this right, it was 9 months of daily use. Daily, I want to say like 5 to 6 days a week, because that's how the average of how many times a week I wear makeup. But this is funny because I had put this for the category of product I regret buying, and I just didn't like how it looked. I thought it looked kind of weird on me. I think it was too out there, bam in your face for a highlighter. But the more I used it, the more I ended up falling in love with it. And I just recently, last year, I bought another one. I'm obviously not going to be using it right now because I am working on other highlighters, but I liked it so much that I did repurchase. And it's funny because sometimes we try something just a couple of times and we hate it, but then after we really take our time with things and we try things out like for a long period of time, it can change our opinion of how we feel about the product. So that was one of the ones. Like I said, I love it now and I can't wait to start using it again. The next thing that I finished was in 2019. I was really excited to use up the Milani Luminoso Baked Blush. I had never seen anybody try to pan the Milani Luminoso blush, but that year I just decided to pick that one. And I don't know why I decided to pick that one, to be honest. I just remembered, I was like, oh, this has progress, let's just finish it. And I used it up. I loved that color. I think it's a great color. I did end up repurchasing it. I understand though that the formula had changed from the original version that we all had to the ones that are being made like more recently. So I believe that the one that I repurchased is from the new batch. So I haven't tried it, obviously. I'm giving myself a little break because it's just been a couple of years since I used it up. But I was really excited to be able to finish a baked blush because baked blushes sounded like such a challenging thing to do, and they are. Baked products in general have a ton of product, and it can get a little bit discouraging because you have to work through the huge dough before you see any kind of progress. So it can get a little bit discouraging, but I'm just glad that I was able to finish it. And the last product that I want to talk about is for another blush that I finished in the year 2020, and it was one of the Too Faced Sweethearts Flush Blush palettes. Flush blushes in the color There's Something About Berry. It's a heart-shaped compact that had 3 stripes of different colors, and you swirled it around together and it made one color. I ended up having to refranken that blush towards the end just because I was left with the shade that was the darkest, like the dark pink one, and it was just way too bright. So I ended up having to repress it with another blush that was a little bit lighter, didn't have quite that much pigment. And again, at this time, I had never seen anybody pan one of those blushes. I had seen people pan the bronzer that came in that same line. It's like a heart-shaped box, but I think it's a split pan with one shimmery, one side matte, and then you mix it. But that's the bronzer. I had seen people hit pan on those bronzers, but I had never seen anybody either hit pan or pan a blush like that. So the fact that I was able to use it up was very, very encouraging to me. And I do have a few other baked blushes, but this year I am working on just like regular blushes. I think I need a break from baked blushes because the Hourglass were baked, the Too Faced and the Milani one were big too, so I'm kind of like, okay, I need to work on my regular powder. Actually, this year I'm working on cream products, so if I do another of these videos, you know, a few years from now, talking about the most recent proudest products that I've used up, I will probably include the cream shadow palette that I'm working on right now. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it by the end of the year. That's the goal, but who knows? Maybe you guys will see that palette in a future video of one of these. But anyway, guys, those are the 5 items that I want to talk about that I feel like have been my biggest accomplishments when it comes to using up products. I'm just excited to still be able to use my stuff, even though things are kind of, you know, with the whole wearing mask thing, 2020 was kind of like discouraging, but I was able to get back into wearing full face of makeup, even if people can't see it, even if it's getting destroyed under the mask. I'm just gonna keep wearing my makeup as I do, and hopefully I can finish some interesting and challenging things from here on to whenever I keep making videos. Let me know in the comments down below, what are your most proudest items that you have finished, and if you have any videos that I can find those things empty, I would love to take a look at them. If you did a year of empties video and I maybe haven't seen it, let me know, and I would love to see it. But for now, that's all I have, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little chit chat with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.